and welcome to the Bot Box. Hype. Hype is not something I'm really receptive to. If something's been hyped as the best thing since sliced bread, which is good, you can make sandwiches with it, I need a little bit of time for the hype to go down so I can properly assess whether or not I'm dealing with the best thing since sliced bread. While something's hyped, my expectations are pretty high, so it's more likely to disappoint me. This was not the case with Gemini. Clusterbots had existed in the early days of Robot Combat before the TV show, but none had made it on to Robot Wars, the TV show, until Series 4, when Mace's successor Gemini made its debut. Remember Mace from its own episode, and other episodes in which Mace fought other robots. Each bot was a black box wedgie robot with a rear-hinged flipping arm. The two were joined by a hook and loop system, went into the arena together but separated as soon as Activate was called. Gemini landed in Heat F of Series 4 of Robot Wars, which drew Tracklifter Caterpillar and Rammer Tornado. As a result of Mace being a double semi-finalist, for those who can't remember, it made the semis in Series 2 and 3, did better in Series 3, but Chaos 2 happened. Gemini was seeded 8th. So as the battle started, Gemini separated. One half went after Caterpillar before both tried to have a go at Tornado, but that didn't work out, especially when Tornado pushed Caterpillar and one Gemini twin. The Gemini twin escaped. Caterpillar got turned over and pushed around the arena. Gemini stayed well clear. That is until an accidentally righted Caterpillar ended up with Shunt. A Gemini twin came sniffing and flipped Caterpillar, so it was stuck on the wall. So Gemini went after Tornado. One twin flipped Tornado. Whether or not it was the twin Tornado tried to impale a moment later, I couldn't possibly say. The Gemini twins are almost identical. One has a red stripe, one has a grey stripe. It's not easy to keep track of the red and grey stripes. At least, being bots, they cannot pull the twin switch trick. And yes, I've had that happen to me. Anyway, one twin got into a pushing war with Tornado, and one got a bit close to secure it. Tornado drove into the pit. Gemini was safe. Tornado also went through. Next up was Lifter the Creature, a robot I'm not looking forward to describing. Also, the clusterbot immobilization rule was explained. So if one twin went down, both would be ruled out no matter how active the other twin was. Please remember this. One Gemini twin tried to flip the creature over. It landed on its wheels but lost half its decorative armour. One Gemini twin gave the creature, now by a wall, another flip before both got the creature on its side. One last flip removed the creature from the arena, making Gemini the first non-Chaos 2 robot to flip a robot out of the arena. And next up, in the heat final, was Tornado. It breaths me. I remember seeing this fight when I was 7. Tornado hit a Gemini twin early on before pushing, I think, the other twin. The Gemini twin in question tried to flip Tornado whilst being pushed, but failed and was left by a certain arena spike. Tornado kept ramming one Gemini twin until it was impaled on an arena wall spike. So trying to stay in, the remaining Gemini twin tried to rescue the impaled twin, Tornado making things tricky. The surviving twin even gave Tornado a go-away flip. Once the impaled twin was rescued, it was too late. Basically, the spike had gone in so far that the twin was now down. It was out for the count. So Gemini's surviving twin flipped Tornado until it stopped, but it was to no avail. Tornado won by knockout. And as case of with 8th seeds, it was a bad idea to be seeded 8th in Robot Wars. There's a thing called the 8th seed curse. Every 8th seed failed to make it out of its heat. Gemini was the first 8th seed, and also therefore the first victim of the 8th seed curse. Like I said, I remember seeing this fight when I was 7. I was rooting for Gemini, so therefore I did not like Tornado for what they did to Gemini. I want to like you, Tornado, but you do not make it easy. Anyway, time for some pinball. Gemini split in one half, went for some barrels, knocking a bunch over before distracting Sergeant Bash whilst the other hit a 50-point target. One twin hit the multi-ball release and drove over the ramp, the other went through the car door, and in the final seconds another target got hit. They scored 255 points and won the Pinball Warrior tournament. That makes me feel better. However, that wasn't easy to keep track of. Gemini, I like you, but you need neon stickers to tell you apart, not red and grey. On to the celebrity special where Anthea and Wendy Turner were attached to Gemini. Apparently they're both Geminis as well, but not twins. First up was Axbot Killertron. For this, Gemini had eyes and blonde wigs. At least Anthea Turner's name rings a bell. Wendy's doesn't. Sorry, Wendy. Gemini split at the start of battle, as per usual, but one half was a bit slower to move. They did both move and tried and failed to flip Killertron. Killertron did get flipped eventually when Matilda rocked up. Killertron also got righted and the boxing glove attached to the axe got set on fire. One Gemini twin flipped Matilda before time ran out and the judges were called in. They ruled in favour of Gemini. Next up was Furry Lifter Dietoire. Gemini split and not long afterwards, Dietoire ended up on fire as per usual. Gemini flipped and righted Dietoire twice before Dietoire flipped one Gemini twin. It righted, but it became clear one twin was down. The pit went down and both twins went into that pit. And it did also fly air floor flipper as well. Gemini ended up winning 2 awards in Series 4. Best Design and Most Original Entry. Deservedly so. You do something different, you're going to get noticed in those categories. On to the first series of Robot Wars Extreme, where Gemini now had wheelie bars to prevent wheelies. And first was in the All-Stars, where it drew Crusher Razor. Crusher and fellow Pinball Warrior tournament winner. Almost as soon as Gemini split for battle, Razor got a hold of one of the Gemini twins and put a hole in it. And it did not sound nice going through that armour. The other twin tried to come to the rescue of the twin with a hole in it. In fact, it successfully flipped Razor and its own twin. But by self-righting, Razor let go of the impaled twin, so it got free. So as a plan, it worked. It was the twin that came to the rescue that Razor went for, but the first twin, the one with the hole in it, flipped the pair. And twin 2 got free before Razor could self-right. Both Gemini twins tried to keep Razor down by flipping it, but Razor caught twin 2 and gave it a puncture, which also did not sound nice. As time ran out and the judges were called in, Razor got too close to a fire. They ruled in favour of Razor, did the judges. So next was a mayhem battle against Mandible Bot Napalm and Dual Vertical Spinner the Spider. Gemini went after the Spider early on, but both twins managed to miss flipping it. One Gemini twin got stranded on its wheelie bar after an argument with the spider. The spider ended up on the flame pit, and the stuck twin somehow got free. But one twin, whilst trying to flip napalm, got stranded on its own wheelie bar. The other twin got similarly stuck whilst coming to the rescue. Oh, Gemini! Ouch! Gemini got counted out. Napalm rescued Gemini too late, and Napalm got pitted with a Gemini twin for company. Gemini returned for Series 5 as the 18th seeds, landed in Heat D and drew Spikebot Ruff Ruff Dougal. It's the second week I talked about pinball and a bot with a magic roundabout reference as a name. Gemini went after Ruff Ruff Dougal right away, and after a flick, one Gemini twin made sure Ruff Ruff Dougal's wheels were off the ground before dropping it. Ruff Ruff Dougal pushed one Gemini twin into a wall, but it escaped. And Ruff Ruff Dougal ended up running away from Lot, which it got too close to, and Gemini. After getting its ears blown off to driving over a steam jet, Ruff Ruff Dougal got flicked by both Gemini twins and nudged into the pit release. A Gemini twin flipped Ruff Ruff Dougal over. I think its link had already fallen out by then. Lot removed Ruff Ruff Dougal from the arena. Next up was Flampstroke Axebot Reactor 2. Gemini prodded and poked at Reactor 2 early on, only to get prodded and poked by Reactor 2 in return, a bit close to the weapons. Both twins flipped Reactor 2 over, but Reactor 2 self-righted. Gemini got Reactor 2 on the flame pit, but it escaped, so the 18th seeds resumed prodding and poking. There was a lot of poking. Reactor 2 got flipped, but due to its shape, landed on its wheels, and once again, a Gemini attack backfired when one twin got stranded on its own wheelie bar. But it got freed. However, Reactor flipped both Gemini twins and they failed to recover. Gemini got counted out. One twin got pitted with Dead Metal, the house robot. Oops. Gemini never returned after Series 5. Their flippers ran on SodaStream bottles, which after Series 5 got disallowed. And the Team Mace, could not find a replacement that would actually keep Gemini within the weight limit, which is a real shame. Gemini was flawed, like a lot, if not all clusterbots. It's just the nature of the format. You're sending multiple bots into battle, and there's not that much weight. The weight allocation becomes very tricky. When I first saw it, I liked it because it was something different. Quite a few of the more recent clusterbots have left me cold. I recall when Crackers and Smash first showed up on Robot Wars, they were in the same heat as Carbide, they were in the same first battle as Carbide, and I just facepalmed. But Gemini, that bot, the only way it could make me facepalm is probably that defeat to Napalm, and yeah, that's a painful way to go out, Gemini. But the way I see it is, I was not a fan of Robot Wars when I was 7, but I like Gemini. Anything that causes me to root for it from virtually the moment I first saw it, scores major points with me. To this day, Gemini remains my favourite clusterbot. I'm not talking about the US one, which was far too prone to friendly fire. This Gemini, I don't think it had a single friendly fire incident. The reboot's rules for clusterbots would have helped Gemini because it was more 55-40. It was 55% of the robots had to be immobilised for the whole thing to get knocked out. Gemini was an even 50-50 split between both robots. it would have been a case of both would have had to get knocked out. But those rules weren't in place then, so yeah. Anyway, who's next? Taiki, please be kind. I actually want next week's episode to go out on time. Oh, I like my chances. Ram Rabbit. Until next week, Callison244 out.